The first thing you have to do is to be a friendly person, which means every time you walk around, every time you see a person, doesn't matter who, a stranger, you want to smile, nod, and say hi to them. Uh, be friendly. That is called being friendly. And when you do that, you'll open the door to let people know that you are ready to build positive relationship. Because people are not mind reader. Even though you might want to build a positive relationship with another person, but if you don't let them know that you want to build a positive relationship, most likely they won't do it because they are not mind readers. So you have to do something to let them know that you want to build a positive relationship. So, like for example, before someone can enter your house, you have to give them permission, right, to enter your house by open the door or say, "Okay, please come in." It's the same with positive relationship. If you want someone in your life to be a positive relationship with yourself, the first thing is to be a friendly person. Smile, nod, say hi. And yes, after you do that and the other person doesn't acknowledge and doesn't want to build a relationship with you, okay, now that you know, then you can move forward to the next person. But it all start with you. If you want to have positive relationship, it start with you, nowhere else. Even though other people will benefit, but it's you. It's your life. You want to build that positive. It start with you by being a friendly person. So now that they accept your offer to build a positive relationship, the next thing you want to do is to share your strengths, talent, and likes and dislike, and share as much as possible, so they can understand you. Because the more you share, the more they can understand you, the more they can support you. So when you share your strength to others, they will know what you are good at, and when they need help with certain things that relate to your strength, then they can ask you for support. But if you don't share your strength to them, and when they need help, how would they know to ask you for help if they don't know that you have certain strength? And also, you want to share your weaknesses to others so they can support you. Because if you don't share your weaknesses, then when you need help, then how can they know what to do to support you? So even though they might not have the knowledge and skill currently to support your weaknesses, but they can always find ways to support you beside if they don't have the tool and knowledge at the moment. And so because a positive relationship is about supporting each other. And if you don't share your strength and weaknesses, then how can you support each other? For example, in a romantic relationship, we share our strengths and weaknesses to our partner, right? And by doing that, you build a stronger relationship with them because they understand you. So it's the same with any possible relationship. But of course, each type of relationship require different kind of sharing. Like for example, in a romantic relationship, you will share more intimacy, strength, and weaknesses. But in a friend, like a friendship or co-worker, you will share less intimacy about strength and weaknesses. But the idea is you want to share as much as possible so the other person can understand you, so they can support you, and the other person should share as much as possible about themselves so you can support them as well, because that is a positive relationship. It's about supporting each other. So the next tip to help you build positive relationship is a mature relationship. The first one is a two-way street. So like for example, if you and your friend have a problem, both person have to be willing to sit down and solve the problem together. But only if one person is willing to sit down and solve the problem, then how can you solve the problem successfully? So it's a two-way street. And the same with when it comes to friendship or romantic relationship, both sides have to be willing to cooperate to plan activities. So like for example, if you are always planning activities and your other friends are not planning at all, that's okay at the beginning, but the more you do that, the more you'll feel and start to say, why do I always have to do the planning? And when you start to think like that, the disconnection between the relationship will be dissolved, and little bit by little bit. Then sooner or later, you feel like it's not a mature relationship anymore because you're doing all the planning, but your friend is not. But in a mature relationship, it's a two-way street. Could It has to be the same. So you do some of the planning, your other friend do some of the planning. That's how keep your mature relationship balanced, and that will help your relationship grow. And even if you're working for a company or you have a boss, so like for example, you work at a company, even though you report to your manager or boss for direction on how to do things or what to do things, but that doesn't mean you should feel below them, because like again, you are a competent person. You have this expert that they need from you. So if they don't have you there, then they can't. Then the company won't improve because you won't improve because you have that expert. You are the expert in the field, so they should be blessed that they should have you. But still, we want to keep a humble spirit. Also, we should be feel grateful that we have the job that to help us earn money to get income. So in this case, that is a mature relationship. The company you need you, and you have to see that they need you. Because if you see that they don't need you, then you don't feel equal, and then you don't feel in a balanced relationship. So even though you report to your boss or manager for something, but you are a valuable person. You have something expert. You have something important to share, and that should not be neglected. So so when you do that, you create a sense of belonging, which means you belong in the company, which means you contribute to your company. And when you can see that you contribute in a positive way, you start to feel belong. Okay, I belong in this company because I bring value, I contribute in a way. And when you can do that, you feel belong. And when you feel belong, you can start to feel better, develop better relationship with others. Even with a romantic relationship, you want to feel that you can bring value to your partner, because if you don't feel value that you can bring your partner, then you don't feel belong with that person. And even with your partner, your partnership also contribute to a relationship, and by doing that, it creates a sense of belonging and love between each other. So the next one is very important. So so the next one is number 4, not needing and needing. So I will start with not needing. Okay. So not needing means in life, you don't need anybody to make your life possible. Your life is your responsibility, and you don't need anybody to make your life possible. Yes, we need others to support us, but we're going to talk about that needing at the end. But in life, no matter what happened or no matter what situation you're in, you don't need anybody. You can make your life possible on your own. And that's why self-improvement is so important, to believe that you can overcome anything. So like, for example, let's say that you're in a relationship with another person, and that person been supporting you with living expense, support you a lot throughout your life for like 5 years, let's say. And then suddenly that person treat you so badly. I don't know where that person just did. And so the moment someone treat you badly, you do not deserve that, which means you need to be strong and let them go. Yes, even though they've been supporting you with living expense and income or whatever, but when they treat you badly, you need to be strong and let them go and not be afraid. Because remember, doesn't matter what happened in life, you have the ability to overcome anything. And that's why self-improvement is so important. Because if you're afraid to let go of that negative person because they keep been supporting you all the time, then you don't have the strength to live because you're afraid that you can't survive. And that's what, but life is all up to you. You have the ability to overcome everything. Yes, yes, maybe when you first start to leave that negative person, you might take a while to pick yourself up, or you will take a longer time to get where you want, but you would rather do that on your own, take a while to pick yourself up, than with negative people. Because when you're around negative people, again, it will drain your life out. And so that's why self-improvement is so important. And so, but again, a good thing that we always heard, that as one door closed, another will open. And it's the same with positive people. Once you let go of a negative person, I guarantee you, another person more positive will enter your life. It's just that Are you willing to work on yourself to become more positive? So that next positive person that will enter will be positive. So you'll be ready for that next positive person. But if you're not ready, you're not positive for the next positive person, most likely they will not stay long either because they are not the same congruent with you. So, and that's why learn how to be by yourself, be comfortable, be by yourself, to work on yourself. And as the more you work on yourself, I guarantee you, positive people will start to enter. And again, life is all up to you. By having that mindset, you will not be afraid to let go negative people, because sometime in life we will make the wrong decision of allowing a negative person to enter our life. That's just human being. We make mistakes. And sometimes I allow negative people to enter my life without knowing it until a little bit while later. But it's not about the mistake, it's about letting go when you need to. That's the most important. So needing other, okay, the reason why we need others, because we are not a perfect human being, which means 80% motivation come from us, 20% come from others. Yes, we need others to push, help us, lift us up when we need that extra push. Because again, if we are 100% perfect, we don't need others, but we do need others. But it has to be the right people, the 20%, not just anybody. It has to be the right people. So, and that's why we need others, because we will fall. And when we fall hard, we need others to support us, to give us that extra push. And that's why we need others. And that's why when you have a positive person in your life, you don't want to take for granted. You don't want to take for granted, because if you take for granted, they will leave you. And when you fall hard and you don't have that positive person, you can still pick yourself up, but it will be very difficult. So that 20% is just to make our life a little bit easier. And it's true, sometimes we need it because we are not perfect. Okay, so the next one quickly is to focus on quality versus quantity, which means the people that truly will support you is the quality relationship, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of relationship or know a lot of people, but they still feel empty inside because they have so many and they can't focus on anybody. But the true support, the people that really support you, is the quality relationships. It's the relationship that you keep building on to make it stronger. And the thing is, the reason why we want to focus on a few quality relationship is because a quality relationship take a lot of time and effort and hard work. It's not easy to build a positive relationship. And so that's why, but if you focus on too many relationships, then you won't have enough time for everybody. And when you don't have enough time for everybody and you spend 5 or 10 minutes on each person, then you won't build a quality relationship. And that's why you want to focus on a few relationship where you can build quality relationship. The stronger those relationships become, the more likely they will support you. Because again, positive relationship is about supporting each other. And if you have poor relationship, then most likely they won't support you the way that you need and want. Again, the more quality the relationship is, the more you feel belong and love, because the more they will support you. And because feeling belong and love, that's the key right there. And we can only get that from quality relationship. So the last one, before we go on to a question and answer, is to learn communication skill. And that's why it's very important. So I said that as an example of a learning skill also. Because in order to express our strength, weaknesses, likes, and dislikes to other people successfully, there's a right way and a wrong way to express yourself. So you want to make sure you learn communication skill to express out successfully. But if not, then the other person won't understand you well. And so it doesn't matter how much you share with the other person. If you don't share it correctly, then they can't understand you as well. And so that's why knowing communication skill is very important. And also, I believe that today is not the we don't love or care for each other. It's the lack of communication skill that we don't have, that we tend to get angry to a point that we don't want to be around other people. But it's not that we don't care, because as human beings, we burn out caring and loving others. So like, for example, even though I just met you right now, my caring and support for you increase. Or for example, if you see a old person on the street fall down, and if you can help, you would help, right? So even though we help stranger on the street that is need help, because we care as human beings, we care for each other, and that's why we are willing to help a stranger on the street when they need help. That's why we do it, because we care for human beings. But if we always get angry or upset to a point, it is because we don't know how to communicate successfully with each other. And so that's why it's important for you to have learn communication skill, to express yourself successfully, to understand each other successfully, to help you build that strong relationship.